What we have here are two Odyssey 10-inch Jessie luggage boxes. These are going to be equipped on the GS Adventure. Ta-da! And I bought these, the boxes used, but I bought these new. I really want that added functionality that the almost all of the major panniers now have, which is kind of bungee connectors at the front for an extra tent or a chair or whatever. These don't have that. They're kind of an old school classic design. I love the look of the Jessies, but I really wanted that top storage. So for $99 I bought these racks, two of them, and they came with a whole assortment of bits and bolts, including you've got the nuts there, you've got screws or bolts, and you've got these waterproof rubber washers. And then I have here a 5/32 drill bit. I may need a 7/32, but we're going to try it with 5 first, and then I have some silicone sealant. So the way this is going to work, and before I get started, there was no video on YouTube on how to do this. And generally when that occurs, I decide to go out and make my own. So I consulted with a bunch of experts who informed me that what we're going to do is we're going to line these racks up perfectly to where we want them. We're going to indicate with a Sharpie where we want the bolts. I'm just going to basically use the drill bit and go through the current bolts, or the holes. And then you're going to put the bolt through. Then on the other side, you're going to put the rubber washer facing outward, and then the nut, and then you use a little, I'm going to use a combination of the silicone with some medium thread locker to seal these up, make sure they don't rattle loose. So pretty nice. When we get done, I'll have some nice bungee straps here for extra storage. So I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm going to put the camera on the tripod, and we will get started. All right, so I'm going for a full top-down approach here. I do hope that this camera angle works. Towels down, not scratch the boxes. The boxes are actually powder coated. I've got the New Hampshire special on right now, which is red flannel. In case you guys, you know, any true New Englanders, this is the shirt of choice. So up top here, nice clean surface. This is the exhaust box, so it'll be this way if I'm facing forward on the bike, and it'll open out this way. You know, it's like a cool red theme going on. It's not quite done yet, but and then I've got a replenishment kit here from Jessie, which will replace the rubber seals around the edges to get that waterproofness back. So I'm not too worried about missing some of the spot there. But yeah, it looks pretty nice. I'm going to lock this up so there's no motion of the ocean. We're going to grab our rack, bolt through, rubber washer facing out on the inside of the box, and then tightening it down with the lug there. All right, so we're going to find our happy place, and I'm going to eyeball it to a degree. Maybe I will measure. And then, yep, and yep. So we're going to affix our drill bit here. Okay, make the first incision. Use this as in frame. Yeah, we'll see if this 5/32 is big enough. It is not. So we will have to grab ourselves a 7/32 bolt for this, which means I'll see you guys in a different shirt later on. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint, guys. I did not do a costume change, but I did happen to find a 7/32 bolt in my trusty third toolbox. I have no toolbox, you know, raised toolbox with racks or anything, so I go through random cardboard boxes that are full of tools, and I find what I need, and lo and behold, there it is, right next to the 1/4 inch. So let's get this in again. We'll move the box out of the way, the rack out of the way, and just come to this one more time. There we go. And make sure that fits straight through. It does. Perfectly, actually. So I'm going to speed this up, and we're just going to hit this thing just like this, and go through this, and you know, fast forward it for you. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to apply some sealant here. This is some silicone sealant. Actually, let's get a towel ready for this. Okay. Next we're going to have our bolts threaded through here and stick through the hole. Just like so, holding them in place. We'll pull this back and grab our rubber washers and put those on the inside. So I would recommend then in this case that you go through and clean off this stuff here. My advice earlier around maintaining these little bits that are kind of stuck up from the drilling, go ahead and pull those back, and I'll show that in a second. Before these harden, we're going to get our wrench out and an Allen and tighten these down. Okay, we have a little Allen here. I'll have to measure it later. It looks like a... yeah, I can't make it out. It's tiny. So we'll stick this in here. Fold the lid back. Make sure that's nice and tight. Grab the next one. I don't need thread locker on these because I've got these things have this really nice kind of the inside rubber piece that will keep them from coming undone. And that silicone should also save our butts. Okay, now we can do the other side. Looks like all the holes are still lined up. What we're going to do though first is we're going to scrape away some of those pieces there that were left over. That's not going anywhere on that side. Okay, now when you're done, make sure that you wipe any excess silicone from the outside here before it dries. You don't want that nasty stuff getting everywhere. And let's lock this up, give it a lift test. There we go, there's our handle. Not moving at all. Really great. You know, this it's kind of a nice... overall, it has a nice interior profile to it. You can see here, they're not too deep, but I would actually like these to be a couple of threads longer and allow me to put some black washers on the outside here. Now these aren't meant to carry a ton of weight. You know, thinking about a tent maybe, a knapsack, a jacket, you know, nothing that's going to be aerodynamically hitting the wind and pulling back on this. And for that purpose, I think they're pretty darn good. I like the multiple mount points here. I'm going to leave you guys for now and not do the other one on camera because there's not much else to learn, but I hope this was helpful. And those of you like me that come along 10 years after Jesse's are still in style and want to know how to install the lid racks, well, here you go. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a great evening, and ride safe.